This is kind of terrifying. Okay. Hi, my name is Frida, and welcome to my first ever book haul. Now, disclaimer slash forewarning, I did not buy all of these at once because that would be crazy. I have over 40 something books in here. So this is the books I've accumulated over the past, let's say, 3 months. I'm aware, I have a problem. So the first thing I'm about to show you is actually a repurchase. I already owned this entire series of books, but I just think the Bloomsbury edition of it is so beautiful, and they're just new, so I gave into impulse and I bought all of them. So, and these are, of course, Harry Potter. They're so pretty. Look at them. And they're so, like, buttery. I don't know, I just really like them, so I got them. The second book I got was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I basically got this because of the movie that's coming out, so I was curious. But then I discovered that it's actually written inside by all the characters, and it made me like it 500 times more. The other book I have is The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. This book is really good. I 100% recommend it to just about anyone because it's amazing. The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filler. The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. And then we enter the realm of the books I may or may not have yet to read. So, The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I know I've had this for so long and I've yet to read it. And it's about basically this girl who gets married, an arranged marriage, and her husband builds her this dollhouse that resembles the house they live in. But slowly she starts realizing that stuff that's happening in the dollhouse is actually very similar to the things that's happening in her own life. It's almost like life imitates art, or art, in this case it would be art imitates life. The other book I have here is The Dark Days Club by Alice Goodman. This is really good. I really like this. I wish I had the American edition of the cover because I think it's prettier. I don't like having people on my covers, but I like it. It's such a good story. It's such a fast read and it's really fast paced and easy to sort of get into, which is great because, you know, no one wants to be lagging behind. Now, this is something that everyone loves, and this is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, they're great. It's a high fantasy series. Assassin, killing, hot guys, nice clothes, schemes. If you like The Hunger Games and if you like Game of Thrones, just, this is like a mashup of them, best of both worlds. Go for it. I don't know, 95% of the time I don't know what I'm saying. Also, I'm slightly awkward in front of the camera. So, you know, this is what happens. The other book I have, one of the other books that I still have to show you, is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Look at this cover, it's so pretty. Focus, thank you. It's so pretty. And this is a really nice story. I can't really explain it to you, but it's basically a plague has gone over the world and it annihilated the population, or 95% of the population. The 5% that's remaining are sort of spread around the world. Part of this 5% is this traveling group of Shakespeare actors, in which our main character comes, and the book flashes backwards in time and forwards to show us the different plot lines and storylines of different characters throughout different time periods, before the plague and after the plague, including our main character. It's really good, just read it. It's a fantasy read, it's very good, it's very nice. And then we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Of all time. It is so good. Again, I wish I had the American edition of the covers. It's prettier. But this is so good.
So good. So good.
Then we have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This is actually a fairly old book. It's a fairly old edition, but I like that. It's a really good book. It's a classic. This girl goes It follows sort of the mental breakdown of this girl who has this internship to a newer fashion magazine, and follows her throughout New York once she comes back home, and sort of how mental illness takes a hold of her and what it does to her and how she gets out of it and sort of moves on with her life and sort of gets better and heals. It's a really good book. It's very deep, and I think everyone should read it just because it gives a really nice insight. That and the book I already That and a book I've already shown, which is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filler. Both give really great insights onto mental illness and how they affect not only the people who are afflicted by them, but also those who surround them and those who love those people. Then we have The Raven Queen, which I have not read yet. It's a historical fiction. I haven't read it. It was an impulse buy. I'll read it eventually, just, you know, not now. I mean, look, the tagline is so, it hooks you in. It's like, it has come at last, my death day. Remember me. Yeah, I want to remember you, but I just need to read you first because I didn't do that yet. Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groton. This is pretty good. If you like historical fiction and fantasy, this is like a nice mix of both. It's alternate reality World War II. And I can't say more because it gives away some insights into the plot, but it's really good. And it's about someone attempting to assassinate Hitler after, you know, the Axis powers have won and they've taken over the world. Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. This is the second book in the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. I liked the first one. I didn't like the second one as much. I don't know, I didn't like it as much. I thought the first one moved a lot faster. This one lagged a little behind. It bored me a little. But I mean, it's good, and I'm sure I'll read the third one, which I don't remember what its name was. Don't Look Away. I'm sure I'll read the third one, Don't Look Away. Not now. When I have more time and less books that I need to read, I'll give it a try. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I've been told to read this book by so many people in my life, and they've all said that it's really important and that you should read it, so I bought it. Figured I'd read it. It's still in my TBR list, but you know, I'll get to it very soon. Also, my English teacher told me to read it. She tends to give good advice on books, so I'm gonna listen and read it. Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. I maybe got through halfway and then I stopped reading. It's very good. I don't know why I stopped, but I did. But it's such a good book. And Brandon Sanderson is notoriously known for writing extremely great high fantasies. This is one of those cases. This is really good. Again, I have no idea why I stopped. I should probably pick it back up again, but because I stopped, it's also on my TBR list. I have one less pile here. Oh god, what have I done to myself? Okay, now this is a repurchase. This is Julius Caesar by Shakespeare. Look at it, it's such a pretty cover. Focus. Yes, it's such a pretty cover. Yeah, I like Shakespeare. This is one of my favorite plays of his, so I just wanted it in hard copy rather than on my Kindle. It also gave birth to one of my favorite quotes of all time from Shakespeare, which was, "The fault, Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves." That quote gave birth to the title of The Fault in Our Stars, the book by John Green / the movie. I liked it before, though. I liked it before. I promise. I think. Moving on. Then I have Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I haven't read it yet. It's really short though, so I don't know why I haven't read it. But I'll get to it very soon. And I really want to read it because I like Virginia Woolf, and I've heard that this is one of her greatest novels. It's also an American classic, so I tend to want to take those off the list. So yeah. Then we have Japan Flag. No, this is A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. And if you want to know what it's like to go on a trip, acid trip, read this. This is like mentally putting your brain into an acid trip. Words you will never understand, words you should not try to understand because they make no sense, plot lines that merge together and then break apart, a crazy protagonist who's not really a protagonist, he's like an antagonist, that's just the main character of the story. It's just so good. And the movie is really good as well, which was the first time I've ever seen a movie adaptation of a book that was equally as good as the actual book. And the story is really short, so yeah, give it a read. It's really good. What am I doing? Okay, now we have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. See, it says here soon to be a major motion? Oh my mouth cannot speak today. Let's try this again. It says here soon to be a major motion picture, so I want to read this before it becomes a movie. I've already seen the trailer, so I should probably get to reading this soon. It's a mystery thriller story. Don't really know what it's about. Don't want to know. I kind of want to go in blind on this one. They say it's really good. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller. So, we'll see. Going in blind. No idea what it's about. Moriarty by Anthony Horowitz. Now, I like Anthony Horowitz. I've read a few of his books. And I quite like him as a fantasy artist. There was something about this that didn't work with me. I mean, it's good writing and all, it's great. I don't think that anyone writes Sherlock Holmes as well as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who was the creator. So I just never got into it. But yeah, I mean, it's good. If you like Sherlock Holmes stories, it's actually a pretty good one. But it lags a little too, which is what I didn't like. Meh. And then we have The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Again, I've heard great things about this book. It's really short, so I have zero excuse for not having read it yet. Yeah, I'll get on it. Soon. Hopefully. And then we have Revolver by Marcus Sedgwick. This is really good. I tore through this in maybe an hour and a half. It's really short too. It's, I don't know, about 200 and some pages, 300 pages, 203 pages. It is so good. I recommend this to anyone who likes stuff with knives and guns and bravery. This is such a good novel, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat throughout the entirety of it. So we also have so many books. Okay, Shadow of the Wind by Carlos I keep wanting to say Carlos Luis, but it's Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I haven't read it. It says the classic literary thriller, once opened, never forgotten. I've heard great things. I don't know what it's about. I know nothing. I'm going in blind, but I do want to read it. It's huge too, so I'm sort of giving myself some time until I have a lot of time on my hands so I can like tear through it. Because I know that if I like it, I won't be able to put it down, and I need to not have anything to do before I do that. We also have Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I like Rainbow Rowell. Her writing is funny, which I appreciate so much because everyone likes a little bit of humor, and her characters are always really relatable. So this is the first one she's written that has sort of a fantasy element to it, so I want to read it. We also have Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This book is a mammoth. It is huge, and it's packaged so tightly that it just makes it look so much bigger, which is terrifying. I want to read this just because I want to see the movie really badly, but I want to read the book before I see the movie because it's an adaptation. So I'll get to it, but again, it's so big that I just need to have free time. So many books, so little time. Okay, we also have It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. Ned Vizzini. Okay, this, again, I have no idea what it's about, but I've heard this is really good. And it's another one of those books that sort of tackles mental illness in a way. I want to read this. And this is right up next on my TBR list, so once I'm finished with the book I'm reading right now, which you're about to see, I'm reading this one. Maybe I'll even do a review on it. I don't know, it's not a new book, so I don't think I need to. You all know what this is about. but I really do want to read it, and it's a little ironic in a way, sort of sad irony that the book is about depression and that Vizzini committed suicide. I want to get to this really, really soon. And now on to my current read that got ripped accidentally. It's I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak. I really like Marcus Zusak. He's the author of The Book Thief, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And this one is really good as well. Next book is The Vegetarian by Hang Kang. This is weird. I cannot explain what the story is about, except that it's a woman who becomes vegetarian and how this change in tradition affects her family and like dynamic, and how her family begins treating her and the outside world begins treating her and all that. Next novel is Marcus Zusak's The Book Thief. This is again a repurchase. I already own the book, but it got like ripped and damaged and wear and tear and overuse and abuse. So yeah, I bought a new one. This is the movie tie-in. I wish I could find like another version, but this is what I have for now until I find another one. Yeah, it's The Book Thief. It's a really good book, and it's narrated by Death. What more do you want? Who knew Death was funny? Apparently, Marcus Zusak proved us all wrong. Okay, so this is the book before the last. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. This is Attachments, again, by Rainbow Rowell. I like her writing, and she's a very good contemporary writer. No idea what this is about. Zero clue. I know there's a love story in it somehow because it's Rainbow Rowell. But yeah, I'm excited to read it. It's pretty far on my TBR list, but hopefully I'll get to it soon. Yeah, this is the book haul. This is 41 books. I have a problem. I need help because this is not normal. But yeah, this is all I have for you guys today, so thank you so much. If you liked the video, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm new here to BookTube, but I hear you guys are great, so... And let me know below in the comments if you want me to do any other types of videos. I'm open to any and all requests. And I'll try to find as many of the links to these books as I can. If I don't find, like, I'll put all the Goodreads links to all these books for you in the description box below. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys soon. Literally, this is all the books I have right now. So, yeah, I'll see you around. Bye.